Thanks. Blowing dust from the dry lake bed of the Great Salt Lake is not only bad for our air quality, it also threatens Utah's most precious resource, our water. A study published today by the University of Utah analyzed the impact of dust on snow during the winter of 2022. News specialist Jed Bull shows us it accelerated the snowmelt. Jed?
Deanie, last winter, 2022, was one of the driest on record. According to researchers, it was also one of the dustiest. Consequently, the snow melted earlier and there was less runoff for our reservoirs.
It was record-breaking. We saw more dust and more dust events.
Mackenzie Skiles is a University of Utah water scientist who has studied the melting effects of dust on snow for a decade. Last winter, frequent dust storms.
Each one of those dust deposition events was depositing a lot of dust,
leaving the highest concentrations of dust on the snowpack ever. What difference does that make?
When we looked at the impact of that dust on snowmelt, we saw that it accelerated snowmelt by 17 days.
When dust lands on snow, it makes it darker.
Snow is one of the brightest natural surfaces on Earth. It reflects 90% of incoming sunlight. And when you make it darker, it absorbs more sunlight. And that is actually the main driver of snowmelt.
When the snow melts faster, that impacts the runoff forecast.
Which means that the water comes out sooner than we expect. And in a low snow year, that's important. We want to be able to use all of the water that we can in an efficient way.
Where did that dust originate? And that's kind of what we focused on for this study.
Derek Malia created models to isolate the sources, and the shrinking Great Salt Lake is not the only problem.
A really big emitter of dust for northern Utah is going to be the West Desert to the Salt Flats. It's a pretty large, pretty potent emitter of dust.
This year was also one of the dustiest for the snowpack, in spite of record snowfall.
It just goes to show that even if you're getting sort of frequent rain and wetting events, those dust source regions are still producing dust and still have a big impact on melt.
Skiles believes that these results are another strong motivator to protect the Great Salt Lake and keep the lake levels at healthy levels. For Live at 5, I'm Jed Bull.